Doctors of Reddit, what made you say how the fuck is this person still alive? My grandfather was well over 90 and still spending a lot of time keeping his garden and house in shape, whether it meant growing potatoes and tomatoes or climbing up on the roof to replace some old tiles, causing no end of worrying for my grandmother. Until one day he complained about gut pain and the next day had to be rushed to the hospital. Turns out his aorta had ruptured. The doctors told him they could perform surgery, but the chance of survival would be low even for a young man. But as my grandpa put it, well, you're saying it's a choice between absolutely dying or most likely dying, so let's take a chance. The old man survived and went on with his life as well as he could. After a few more years, whatever repair job they'd done on the damned thing couldn't keep together anymore, and it ruptured again. Somehow he still didn't immediately die though, but the doctors told us he had at most 2 weeks to live. That was, damn, I don't even know, 4 years ago. 5? I've lost count. He's still alive. He still grows tomatoes for everyone in the nursing home. At this point I'm beginning to suspect he just hasn't fully grasped the concept of dying and will keep going until the sun finally explodes. I was an EMT and got called to a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. The state I was in mandates that a medical professional is needed to declare someone as dead, even if it's obvious. When I get to the house, the cops are securing the shotgun he used and looking around for information on family or friends. I reach down to feel his carotid neck pulse to begin confirming death on arrival. As soon as my hand touches his skin, his arm snaps up, grabs my wrist, and he slurs, "I'm still alive." I nearly shit myself, but managed to keep it together. He was alive when we delivered him to the hospital, but HIPAA kept me from knowing what happened long term. The wildest one I have ever seen was picking up a patient out of the ICU for organ donation. My company transports these patients to the transplant center to harvest the organs. It's one of the coolest things in the world, because as you wheel them out, everyone in the ICU lines up for the honor walk and gives a moment of silence for the patient, and then security flanks us to the ambulance and salutes as we load them in. Well, the patient has to be kept alive for the organs to be viable. This particular patient had a herniated brainstem with a blood pressure of 295/135 and a pulse in the 40s. Obviously unconscious and not survivable, but normally they are intubated and on a vent to keep them alive. We put this patient on CPAP, and it was more than enough to keep her breathing and alive. How she had survived that long is a mystery to me, but the fact she had, and then had been able to donate everything, except her heart and lungs, due to age, was incredible to me. To everyone reading this, make sure you are an organ donor and your family knows your wishes. Your donation will save several lives. Edit. This patient was alive in the sense she was breathing with a pulse. She was very much brain dead. She had no chance of recovery, and once you become brain dead it is irreversible. They can do a lot of tests to track neurologic function and brain activity to confirm brain death. They typically don't just take patients that still have a chance at survival, unless family wishes to. Personally, if I'm incapacitated for more than 90 days, I would like to be taken off life support and have my organs donated, even if I still have brain activity. People will probably come here for dramatic stories, but it's the extremely frail demented elderly that astound me. 30 kilo, haven't recognized anyone or know where they are for 5 years, in bed, no communication, contractures, curled up, incontinent of everything. What they do really well is eat. The heroic staff might spend upwards of an hour patiently spooning in mushed up food, and they open their mouths like little birds and down it goes. With a good pair of lungs and heart, they can live for a very long time. Whether this is a good thing or not is up to society to decide. It doesn't stop family members shouting at me and threatening to sue when they inevitably get pneumonia, and I suggest that not admitting them to hospital for fourth antibiotics might be gentler or more humane, because it's not going to work, and even if they do survive, they will be in worse shape when they are discharged, and then it'll happen again.